is wonderful.
Well, I would type on my computer to help you, but I
Yeah.
cannot.
I mean, I'm
Oh
having a
my
journey just
god.
trying to type at all. But if technology
It's
would do the
live.
things, okay, great. How do I find it? Um,
You go
okay,
to us.
yeah, I got the email confirmation, so it is live. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. As I try to find a way
Yeah.
to be
Oh,
able to look at the chat,
Jesus. My goodness.
I don't know how to make it show
Stop.
us live. Maybe I have to go from a different
Just
channel.
go to the Alchemist Inkwell, and it
Yeah.
should be live. There it is, live. Ta-da!
Are
I
you on the
found us.
Alchemist Inkwell channel?
Yeah.
How do I? Because I
Hi.
can't see it. I can't see it.
Um. Yeah. So I just clicked it, and it was
Are
around
you
it.
logged in as the Alchemist Inkwell, or are you logged in as you?
I'm on
Okay,
me.
so that's the thing. I have
Yeah.
to switch because I was logged in as the Alchemist Inkwell. So now if I
Oh,
go over
gotcha.
here,
Hello, friends. Welcome to the live. We are having major technical difficulties.
oh my
For
goodness,
some reason, I can't type on
I'm
my
still
computer
not
at the
seeing it.
moment. If I try to type anything in, it opens up the coding for the internet,
Yeah.
anything. And I keep like looking, and I have two keyboards plugged in, so I have like my main one, and then I'm going off my laptop. And even then, no matter which keyboard I use, it's causing those issues. So we're just gonna vibe. We're just doing a vibe
Yeah.
this morning, and we're rolling with it.
Unfortunately, I still can't
Hmm.
find our live, so I'm not going to be able to see the comments, which bugs
Okay.
me.
Yeah, that's
What's up with
okay.
that, man?
I don't know.
I want to see everybody talking.
I know.
Maybe I can do
It
it
was
from my phone
maybe. I'm gonna post
because
really
this
quick
is,
on Instagram that we're live right now.
yeah.
Cause like, oh, ding.
I know,
I
right?
will post on Instagram we're live. Thank you, phone, for dinging about it.
I wish my phone would cooperate in helping me find the stuff I need to be able to see everybody. Okay. Because oh, get out of my face with that. I know it's working. I got the email confirmation. We did it. Okay. Yeah, it's not showing up
How's
even here.
everybody dealing with this eclipse season? Let's just dive into it. How you doing? Obviously, we're having
Yeah.
a go of it.
Woo!
Hopefully, your go of it is going better than our go of it. Because I'll tell you what, this eclipse season's been a doozy, and I am counting the minutes for it to end. The minutes,
Yeah,
like it could be over now. It could be over now.
I am
I'd be good.
I'm ready. But I can see everything. Hello, Katie and Aaron and Danny and Shauna and
Mm-hmm.
Jen and Kristen. Hi, I'm here. I'm gonna look down to be able to talk to you guys now, but it is what it is. And if I can just scoot my thing back. I do also have all of my notes for the eclipse. Um, so if we wanted to, if anybody has any questions about that, I can go into it because yikes. I mean, not
Yeah.
yikes as in be scared, but like this, if it's already annoying me, I think is the real thing here.
Well,
Woof.
I
Yeah.
keep looking at the eclipse and I'm like, if I were to separate it out and do like eclipse and equinox separately, I think I'd be okay. But because they're happening together, I'm like, dude, it's bigger than I think a lot of people are anticipating. Like the energetic impact of it is significant. Like seriously significant when I look at it. It's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. I can tell you some big deal things about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're dealing with is this eclipse is happening at the very last degree of Virgo. And it's only partial because it's, far-ish away from the nodes themselves. So it's, as far as the occlusion and the visibility of it, it's like only really visible over Antarctica and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You would think it's not that intense, but I mean, the energy that we're feeling is intense. And that I would actually attribute this whole fiasco we're going through is probably more the timing of the Aries eclipse from 2024 because that was potent for
Yeah.
us and it's in its intensification. This one's effects won't even start for a couple months. So, like months, probably almost a year. By transit, it's still happening, but the omen that it's kind of signifying doesn't pop off for another year or so. And so the
Yeah.
problem is it's basically a corrupted new moon opposite Saturn retrograde. So that's where I'm like, the Saturn kind of opposition there is the tricky thing for me. And, if I look at it. And then the fact that Mercury's in Libra, so it's not looking at the eclipse, which is fine, but Venus is in Virgo and she's in fall. And I feel bad for her being there. It's not her favorite place to be. And she's got a little while before she gets over to Libra where she'll be happy ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I obviously don't know the astrology side of it. I've just been, tapping into the energy to be like, what can we expect? What's going on? And it seems like every time I look in it, I'm like, Sunday, Monday feels huge. I keep describing it like a star going like nova and turning into a nebula is how it feels. Like on Sunday, the star goes nova, and that's like uncomfortable. We don't like that. It makes everything feel explodey and gross. But then on Monday, we get to take all that energy and like make new stars out of it,
Yeah.
which is what nebulas do. So like it's like a cool 1-2 punch, but it's exhausting. Um, I, for one, am stoked we're going to be traveling after this. Because, like,
Yes, not
after
during
it
it.
is a good
Yes.
idea.
After it is so much
After.
nicer. Because I agree with you. Like the energy of the eclipse itself feels tense. And then as soon as I look at like the sun moving into Libra, it's like, oh, but the sun's moving into Libra. And I'm like, okay. It does feel calmer, but I also energetically, one of the things I am holding myself accountable for is not giving myself too much of a vacation from reality in my mind. Because I feel like one of our things, and I don't know where this is in the astrology, I'll have to look at it, is the like mad dash to escapism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I will say, though, I think we are reaching. I heard someone say it the other day, which I thought was really beautiful, where it was like awareness beyond capability of action is self-harm. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
And like if it's awareness where you still feel like you have the capacity to share it or to sign a petition or what, like that is still action. But if it's awareness beyond that, if you're going so much further and deeper into that and it's becoming like you can't really keep doing, then it's self-harm. I was like, ooh, okay,
Yeah. Well, and
got
to
it,
that
my
same
friend.
thread, there was another one this week that I heard where someone was like, the only time we overthink is when we're ignoring our intuition. And I
That's not my
really
case.
liked that. So
I only overthink when I'm in like active anxiety CPTSD mode. So for me
yeah,
personally,
so
that is not the case.
yeah, well, okay, barring CPTSD, right? If you find yourself trying to make a decision and you're overthinking, you may be unable to tap into your actual intuition about that. Now, the remedy to overthinking, I'm not sure what that is. Usually for me, it's like going for a walk, sleeping on it, and like, unfortunately, I don't think I'm a very good paragon of this example because I will overthink myself into the sun, get to a point where I'm so done with it that I reach neutral, and then everything feels really clear.
I
So
don't know
I
if
just
that's how you're
like,
supposed to do that either, my
I don't
friend.
think so.
I don't
No,
think that's how you're supposed to handle
nope.
that.
I just do it
Um,
until I burn myself out on it, and then I'm like, okay, I don't even care anymore. Oh, there's the solution. So
yeah.
whoever can get to the neutrality point in a much healthier way than I personally do it, I think is good. But I
My
think it's
guides
also
make me
helpful to
stub my
keep in
toes.
mind. My
My
guides
guides
hit
will
me
make
with
me stub
cars.
my toes when I'm
So
overthinking because then I'll
yeah.
stop because I have ADHD as well, right? So I'm like, ow, and then it's just like doo doo doo, and then I'm
Yeah.
somewhere else, and then I circle back to it, which I don't recommend either. It hurts, but it's effective,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
appreciate
I
them for
mean,
that.
mine tend to put me in perspective. So they'll be like, you think that's really bad? Let's go past that. So then, like, everything in my life will fall apart, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? That was so survivable. I'm really not bothered by it anymore. Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
I know. I know.
I don't like that
It's
either.
It's so,
Oh
I
my
was looking
god.
at the, so someone asked, you're back in the sling today. I'm supposed to wear the sling for comfort because if like right now I would be so tempted to gesticulate. So I'm not going to. The sling helps me not do that.
Right.
And just, makes the healing better because I want to travel in a week and be, feeling pretty epic in Thailand. I'm probably still going to have the sling for evenings in Thailand, but I don't want to be wearing it all day long, so like having to do
Hmm.
the little bit more now. Also, I've got some physical therapy stuff that I'm doing, which is making me stronger, and I'm stoked about it, but it also hurts. So, resting it is what I'm doing.
Physical
It's
therapy is
fine.
brutal.
Yeah. And thank goodness, though. Like, I was really looking forward to progress, and I am getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Physical therapy is magic, but it is brutal, and I do not recommend doing it with small children because let me tell you, that was a ring of hell.
Yeah. No,
I've done a
I
lot.
was,
My son has a disability, so we've done a ton of physical therapy with him. And like he was like 3 years old, and it was like, I don't know what we're trying to
yeah,
do here, but it's not working great.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is magical.
Dakota, honestly, the bruising charm is working really well. The
Mm.
problem is the bruise is healing, and it's in that phase of healing where I'll stand up, and about 3 seconds after standing up, I get this pain shooting down my leg, and so I start limping around like a weirdo. So
I
it's
don't think
been,
a shoulder injury is supposed to cause pain down your leg, though.
well, the bruise on my leg from where the car hit.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
thought you meant like the
separate
bruising on your arm.
injury.
I was like,
Yeah.
dude,
Nope.
have
Nope.
you
It's fine.
told
It's
somebody
just a
about
bruise,
that?
and even the wound is, the scab is almost ready to be done, and like the whole thing, it's healing very fast. I'm now starting to work into like how do I prevent scarring, and it's only been a week, so I'm really impressed with that up until this point. Yeah, and today I might get the footage, today or
I
Monday.
really, really want to see the footage.
I want to see it too. My mother-in-law is
It's
like, "Why
because I
would you
love
want to
you. It's
watch
not
that?"
because I'm like
No,
being
it's like
sadistic
my
about
epic
it, but
moment. I'm exactly
yeah.
the same way. It was funny this week. I was on with my therapist, and she was like, "It would be unprofessional of me to ask you for it." And I was like, "No, no, no, don't say it," because we're like the sessions are recorded and stuff, right?
Hmm.
So I was like, I feel like for my healing progress, it would really help me if you saw the video so that you would understand what I went through. And she was like,
What I
"Yes."
did.
So
Oh my God. I
hopefully,
mean it. I hope you introduce yourself to everyone being like, look at what I
yeah,
got.
everybody in Thailand, just remember, I will make sure you consent, but I am going to offer if I have that video in time. To be like, you want to see me get hit by a car on a video, not in real life? Dan said, like be specific about that. I think Shauna also said be specific about that. Like, you want to see a video, not do you want to
Right.
see it happen? Um, yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
So funny.
Oh, it's still
Someone
the
asked, I
best.
think it was Shauna actually asked, about what to do with water because I mentioned using water
Yeah.
to help navigate all this intense energy. I actually mentioned nature in general. So that is like the number one thing to navigate all the stuff that's happening is truly, oh, hold on, my phone is also going off. We're being so
Yeah.
productive
It's
with
a
the
busy,
dings this
busy day.
morning. Um, but it's to truly like go to nature. Now with water specifically, when I'm speaking about that, nature water, outside water is a really good idea. Yes, you can use like inside water too, take a shower, anything that you're doing to connect with water. But if there is natural water near you, I highly recommend you go nearby it, either during the eclipse or the equinox. It's just like a really beautiful, it helps you cleanse. Water gives really good advice. You can also give it the names of your enemies and it'll handle some problems, which is always lovely too.
Just a
Um,
subtle ad in there.
just gonna
I support it.
Krista and I went to the largest waterfall in Iceland and potentially gave it the name of a very orange individual to handle for
We
us.
did.
Um, you know, that happened.
It
We
does.
did do that. But you can do that too. To rivers specifically love the names of your enemies because they got gossipy energy. They want to
Yeah,
handle biz.
they can take that and just
Um,
run with it.
yeah, so I highly recommend doing that. I also would recommend hanging out and talking to the trees if you can this weekend, Monday. Talk to the trees. It's going to help and give you so much more insight and so much more comfort about everything. Well, maybe not comfort. Some trees are vicious, but they will give you good advice in
Yeah.
general. So yeah, so that's how I would. That's how I'm going to be using water. The other thing is, I did actually suggest that with this eclipse. No, this is not a normal suggestion. So like, just know this. But if you wanted to, because it's bumped up against the equinox, what my guide showed me is you could make moon water. You could put it out there. It's going to be chaos in a fucking bottle. So do not think that it's going to be this happy, peaceful, lovely thing that you're going to, oh, it's lovely full moon.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No,
It
it's
is
more
not
like
lovely full
wasp
moon water.
spray.
Uh-huh. But what you could do with it is make some moon water. So put it outside in a jar overnight for the night of the eclipse, so Sunday night. And then on Monday, it can be transmuted because then it's the equinox and it's this big manifestation time. So then you could take the water and leave it out again on Monday night to transmute it under the equinox energy to rebalance it. And then it's going to be super potent. So you can use it for manifestations, you can use it for clearings, you can use it for all sorts of stuff. I wouldn't water your plants with it, but
Feels
use it
spicy.
intentional magic wise.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would love the subtle ad. Good. Glad you love the subtle ad of like
Yep.
how to inflict pain upon your enemies. You
Oh
know,
gosh.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, should we talk about egregores?
I was gonna. I read that
We
too, and
will
I was just
talk
like,
about
I'm gonna let
egregores.
M read that too.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Um,
So, mm,
I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna lay this out flat. Is his egregore particularly strong? No, not
no.
from the people that have thrown stuff at him. I actually think he's actually getting things hitting him. I think that we're seeing his decline happen much
Mm-hmm.
faster than it initially was supposed to. I think he's actually absorbing a lot of the stuff. I don't think there's an
Mm-hmm.
egregore like protecting as much as we think there is. But you know who I would not fuck with energetically, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and I don't mean to like don't. I've tried. Okay, let me just
Yeah.
put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried. It's a bad. Elon and Netanyahu wouldn't
Yeah.
touch him with a 10 fucking foot pole. Absolutely not. I've tried. And I actually had something follow me home when I tried like energy like come at me when I tried to do
Mm-hmm.
Netanyahu, and I was like, okay, you got much bigger and stronger than an egregore. Um, yeah. So I do think that at this point he is being protected by his crew giving him energy and like holding him up, the people around him doing that, and like also physically with whatever medications and things the man be on. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as like, does he have a very strong egregore at this point? No. And if he did, it's whittling away day by day by day
Mm-hmm.
by day. Yeah.
So there's an
So.
interesting thing that we can support with this too. He has several indicators in his chart that should show like imprisonment and bad things. Like he's got a Saturn in fall in the 12th house, and he was born during the day. No, he was born at night. It was a lunar eclipse. Can't remember if the sun was up or down. But anyway, the problem was the Saturn is enclosed by both benefics. So it's like these two spear bearers, you could say, which is an astrological thing that's not the same, but just for
Mhm.
the image. It's like these two guards next to him that have protected him through most of his life. And one of the things we're seeing is by certain timing techniques that's kind of separated out now and has
Mhm.
been intercepted. And so that's when we're also noticing some of the deterioration and the lack of Teflon effect,
Mhm.
kind of falling away.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, like when I look at the energy of it and I look at the egregore, I don't feel like he has
Mhm.
one, but I feel like all of the really committed people to the image of him have little individual ones that are like right in front of their faces. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's technically egregore, right? But I think
No.
they each have created something that they are putting straight in front of them. And if they
Mhm.
looked around it for 1 second, they'd have to face their fears. And so they
Mhm.
don't. So it makes it even stronger.
Yeah, and it's important to note, like egregore, like people talk about it online, like it's this big undefeatable shield because every energy you
Mm-hmm.
throw at it's gonna get like add to it and what. It's super not that.
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, it's a gathering of energies that could be thrown at it, but there is a lot of different workarounds for that that can like absolutely be done. So I don't want you to be like, oh no, they have egregores, we're screwed. Like no,
Mm-hmm. Well,
no.
and
Not even most cult leaders actually get full egregores, to be totally honest. So like
yeah. I also want to kind
it's
of
yeah.
anchor into the actual definition of egregore here, because I
Yeah.
think social media has taken it into a wild direction.
Exactly. That's
So
what I'm
if
saying.
yeah, if you look it up, it's here's the definition you get from just Googling. Um, an occult concept for a non-physical autonomous thought form or psychic entity that arises from the shared beliefs, emotions, and intentions of a distinct group of people. So basically, it's the delusion that people give themselves
Yeah.
over a single person that they focus on.
It's a thought form spirit plus.
Yeah.
Which thought form spirits, by the way, consciousness has the ability to create other consciousness. It's kind of why we exist because, like, higher self, like a little chunk of us comes down, right? We've kind of created a separate consciousness. We can do that too because everything is a fractal of everything else. So that's the egregore piece where a bunch of people can think a bunch of stuff and put that together and ta-da, or a thought form spirit can happen that way too. The interesting thing with that is egregores are corruptible in a lot of ways in the sense of when the person or the idealism like passes from that energy still gets left around. I've actually dealt with a good amount of those in different places throughout the universe and astral and things like that. That like at one point was a thing and is now not a thing and is like dealing with that. So, yeah, I mean, the protection element of it is not necessarily a thing. That's mostly what I was trying, what I think we're both getting at in that sense is like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Also,
It's a cool word, but
other thing I did find out about this weekend, which this is totally a pivot, but this reminded me of something. Big solar storms. Solar storm stuff is huge also on the
yeah.
eclipse and equinox moment, which has nothing to do with like what's going
Yeah.
on with the planets. It's just the sun going burp. But it's a significant burp.
I already recorded my skits for next week. Dang it.
Sorry.
I can't burp on command anyway. So
Yeah. You just gotta go back.
yeah. It's pretty pathetic when I try. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's another thing that's coming in, which that does affect us. Like the solar storm stuff really, really affects us. It's actually something
Yeah.
that I've been looking at more significantly than even some of the astrological stuff as of late, because we really do respond to that, and it kind of attributes to some of the like collective energy stuff.
And the tech stuff. You know, like
Oh,
astrology's not explaining it. Well, there are solar storms. That explains it. And honestly, there should be like the astrology would explain that there's technology issues and the solar storms happen to coincide. It's always a both and. It's really fascinating when
Yeah.
it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yep. Unfortunately, tech right now hates me. I cannot type. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna sit
I
here.
don't know what that's like.
It's
Again,
really weird. I
I
will
have
try to
like
share my screen with you later and you can see what I mean, because if I can even, I don't even know, but it's really crazy. I'm like,
Tech and I typically get along really well, like even during Mercury retrogrades and stuff. So like I can't relate, but I can definitely witness. Like, I
Thank you.
can testify what's
I
going
have
on. Yeah.
I have the travel tech blessing. Like I can book amazing travel. I get incredible deals. It always is the perfect location. Like I have like a super blessing there. But when it comes to just like tech, bleh. Bleh. Not a thing.
So Jenny
Yeah.
wants to know how your book's coming along, Emily.
It's really good.
It's really
Um, Look for announcements on book stuff in the next week or two. I can't say anything yet, but it's very near.
Yeah. It should be sometime around the eclipse, and then after that, you should be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of my stuff always coincides with the full moon, which Krista and I actually joke about because it's like ridiculous how like, it is clockwork and it's
Even
dumb.
when we do horary, we do the timing. It's like, of course, the horary says around the next lunation.
And it's always like, oh, around the next donation. And I swear, and it's every huge thing in my life coincides like with a full moon, almost exactly, within a day or two. And it's so funny. So of course we're just waiting on the moon. Occasionally it's the new moon, but it's always a lunation, like it very significantly. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. Oh boy.
On the topic of spilling inks, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the podcast you did on Tuesday because boy, I have feelings about that. Oh, friends. I was on the Hoyt Hustle podcast again. It was an experience.
Did they do
okay.
it again?
Well, I had signed up for two. So one was like their live summit thing. So I did their live summit. That was first, like 2 weeks ago. And then I was signed up to do like a podcast episode with them as well. Like they wanted me to do both. It was an experience. It was an experience in general. Okay, I will say that like one of the hosts, I think she's kind of more on my level, our level of like how we talk about stuff. Like, yeah, she is pretty out there too, but like I think that there's a little bit more of like a common ground. And then another one of the hosts, because there's two, is not on. She's the one who asked me on the last podcast episode what alien collective I channel to get my information.
Yeah.
The answer is none, in case anyone is wondering. Thank you guys for watching, for the couple of you that did.
Yeah.
I was like, because like they asked me to like share it, so I'm like trying to like do the obligation of that. So I really appreciate you guys hopping on. But they had the misfortune of asking me, how did she phrase it? I would love to hear your thoughts on how AI is unlocking all of these spiritual gateways for us. Blah 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 blah.
I almost threw my fidget toy.
Anyone who was on knows that I kind of went, ooh, so you should know I absolutely hate AI. It's like, we went, I went,
Talk
and
about
it
an
was very
egregore,
clear.
though.
Well, I went really kind of deep into it and to the multiple reasons why, both spiritually and also I was like, at the core of it, it's made by white men to make money. Why are you engaging with it? Like, and she started off very extremely pro AI. You could hear and see, and when I said I hate it, she was like, oh, like you could see like what. And there were people in the comments that were very displeased with by my opinion, which is fine. Like they can be displeased by my opinion. I will say giving your spiritual power over to a machine is stupid,
Yeah.
is not good. We don't want to do that. Even if that was giving you real spiritual advice, that's bad. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Amongst a million other reasons. However, by the time I finished kind of my slight tirade about the woes of AI and how much I dislike it, she was like, "Well, I'm a neutral party." I'm like, "Sure you are."
That's
So that was an experience that occurred. Yeah, if you want to watch it, you can absolutely watch it. It's on Hoyt, like Haute Couture, like spelled like Hoyt Couture. It's that Hoyt Hustle. It's on there. Feel free to watch it. I did too. During the first one that I did. She asked me what Alien Collective I channel. She said something. I forget what else she did. Or that I dove into in the first. Oh, they were blown away by what spiritual hygiene was, and I was deeply concerned. So,
especially
do
in
I think
this
that
day
they
and
are?
age.
They were. They're also. I don't want to talk bad about people, but like their interviewing skills, they kept jumping from topic to topic, so it's really hard to get a full thought out. Like, yeah. Anyway, if you want to go watch it, you guys being over here in my vibe space, yeah, you'll get you'll get what I mean.
That's so
It's
unfortunate.
yeah, and again, I support them. Like, I do think it's cool, and they do this one thing on their live shows, which I think is really neat, which is like they do space weather forecasts. So they look at like the weather that's happening in space and how that might happen to us, and like I think that's freaking neat. And like I do think that there's a lot of merit there. It was just as far as the way that I approach spirituality and they approach spirituality, it is like a very different thing. Also, I hate AI. With like a
Yeah.
fiery, burning passion. Like I can't. But I live. It's important to note too. Like I live in an environment that is like constantly fighting to protect itself. Like we constantly are fighting to protect. Like constantly doing all of this. So like environmental awareness up here has been like literally my life since I was born because it's the snow matters here. Like that's a huge part of the income, whatever. So anytime something is bad for the environment, most of the entire community that exists in immediately casts it. You don't have plastic water bottles here. We only sell paper or metal ones. Like it's a very, very, so even on that level, I'm like, there's a resistance that comes in. Anyway, all that's to say. But yeah, glad some of you
Yeah.
guys came though. Thanks.
Yeah. So
Podcast.
I actually, I'm gonna do some ASMR for you guys because I need to look up this alien plant in Panama. So,
Oh, there's some guy found a meteor, and the meteor started growing things.
oh, cool. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, Oh yeah, someone also they kept mentioning how demons are evil, which they're not, by the way. I just was outlining a YouTube video that I'm gonna shoot, which
Yeah.
I finished watching Hell of a Boss because it's all on Prime now,
Yes. Yep.
and I have a list of demons I hope she includes in future ones, and that's gonna be that's my next YouTube video that I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah.
Is like demons I hope are on the
In
docket
the
for
next
Hell
in
of
the
a Boss
Helliverse.
because
Yeah.
I love them. They're so much fun. We
Yeah.
hang out and they're great. So yeah.
Is everything okay? I feel like I just heard a plate break or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are excited about that video because I have a list of demons that I really enjoy and I love working with them. One of them, his main thing is correcting grammar. That's like his whole shtick. And then one of them is the demon of typos. So like they don't hang out. They don't get along great, but they do exist. Like one of them makes typos and one of them is like correcting grammars. It's great. And I'm not even kidding. Like that's like written in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Like that's their role. And I'm like, they need to happen. Like they'd be perfect characters for Hell of a Boss. One of them assigns familiars. He's a familiar assigner. But you don't get to choose if that familiar shows up to you in real life or just in spirit. So if you ask him for help, like be warned, you might all of a sudden find like an iguana on your front porch and be like, okay, this is now my familiar.
Holy moly.
So-
Sorry, I am looking at this plant.
It's creepy. It's creepy as fuck.
It's wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's everything that the horror movies said it would be.
Yeah. I will tell you the familiar demon's name. I always forget it because their names are so complicated, but I do have it right here. What if it's no. Paimon.
Oh yeah.
Paimon is his name. Sounds like a Digimon. That's not an offending
It's
thing.
also the name
Oh,
of your
and then
companion in Genshin.
Kamaris. I use Kamaris all the time anytime I lose anything because his whole thing is he helps you find lost treasure. I really enjoy him too because he's really goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth saying, like, even priests worked with demons. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
necromancy originally was summoning demons for the purposes of finding sinners, but let's be honest, right? Like, there's probably other things too. And instead.
It was really fun to watch Hell of a Boss, though, knowing all of the demonology behind
Yeah.
it, because it's like all of the sigils of all of the sins, whatever.
Yep.
Like that's their actual sigil.
Yeah.
Like you can actually talk to them using that sigil. Like it was different. Like I love Has Been Hotel too. Like don't get me wrong. Like I really love it. But it doesn't have that much like demonology lore in it, but at all. And so
Honestly.
like this was really cool.
Yeah, I've been watching Hell of a Boss since it was on YouTube only.
Yeah.
And like we had to wait months and months and months and whatever. But it's really interesting to me that Amazon even picked it up for how cool it is.
Well,
to be
and they're
honest.
doing like a partner release between the new season of Has Been and the new season of Hell of a Boss, which I love.
Yeah,
Because that's
I'm
going to
really
be real
excited.
fun, especially because they're both located on the same ring. Like they're both on
Pride.
And that's fun. So
Yeah.
anyway, I love, so Kristen knows I enjoy working with demons. We really super duper vibe. So it was on the podcast, circle that background to that. They kept being like, demons are bad. I'm like, actually demons are like really lovely.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of creepy looking sometimes, but like they're real fun.
Yeah.
I did say that at some point. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you found our live. You guys are being so great. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is super fun. Yeah, the meteor plant is freaking me out. I try to avoid looking at it because I don't like the energy. I don't like aliens. Okay? Me and aliens don't vibe. Look at the meteor plant. I'm like, I don't like it. And it makes me get, I never,
Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating and I want more information. That's
Right.
where I'm at.
Right. Yeah. Oh my
Because it's
gosh.
just like,
yeah.
it's one of those things that's like the little version of it. And it's like, oh, look how kind of cute that is. And then it's like, oh my God, where's it getting all this stuff from?
And it's
So,
like, does it?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're like, it's invasive. Well, yes, it looks like it. I do
Okay,
not
why
think
do I
your
not
little
vibe with
cake basket is enough to contain it, sir.
Someone asked why I don't vibe with aliens. There's a lot there, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
The root of it is that it's never been something. Bless you.
Bless you.
It's never been. It's never been something that I've ever been drawn towards, and every time I've ever worked with them, like we just are oil and water, like is the core of it. Like there's some aliens that I'm fine with, don't get me wrong, and people who are incarnated aliens, I tend to be totally good with. And I've talked to people's alien guides in different capacities, etc. I've astral to different alien planets and things like I can do all of this. I just don't like it. Like I just feel very oil water with it. It's just not what I tap into. Whenever someone asks me if I've talked to like the galactic whatever, I'm always like, no. I also just don't like space movies, things in general either. I've never been a Star Trek. I don't like Star Wars. I know, hate me for it. I just don't. I don't like science fiction in that way. Like I've never been, that's just not it's not for me. It's not for me. Also, I find many aliens to be rather pretentious, but
That's where I'm at. So like I do love space, and I like Doctor Who's one of my favorite things. Star Trek was what I grew up on. Star Wars is another thing I grew up on, and I love stars. So like I've gone into those energies before, but they are not interested in relating. And I think that's like to your point about pretentiousness, they're not interested in relating. They just want you to like witness and do what I tell you. And like there's this sense of like they understand, they look down on, there's a condescension kind of thing. I don't think it's intentional, but it's just like they're not thinking about it. And so like when I deal with it, there's so much extra effort in having to help them understand what's going on and that kind of stuff that I've stopped.
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too, is like, and I don't want to generalize because I'm so passionate about like every being is their whole and complete being.
Yep.
And I actually, on the podcast, actually the other day, I was talking about how people interact with their spirit guides like their only job is beach.
Yes.
like Ken, and like
Yep.
that's not how that is, and like
Nope.
that goes for everybody, right? Like all the different beings in the universe are like that. So I don't want to generalize like the existence of like whole societies of different aliens and stuff. However, having been immersed in those societies and like bringing some energy and trying to, it's never really vibed. It's come off with like this some just norms and beliefs and cultural stuff that just doesn't connect.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
Yeah.
my dad's the one that got me into sci-fi, which when you think about the lore behind all of that and between me and my dad makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Yeah. I
And
know, for
Mystery
sure.
Science Theater 3000 was one of our biggest shows when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
shout out to Davina for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which with Davina, we get to see you soon.
I know. I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
Andrea, I'm so excited that you're going to Iceland. I hope you have an amazing time.
Hey.
It is magical as heck. It is so
Yeah.
wonderful. Pay attention to what quadrant you're in is where you're going to tap in and talk to different beings that are associated with that quadrant. Look at the coat of arms for Iceland and you'll know what I mean. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
That's cool.
Good. I'm glad you're very excited. I am also excited about Thailand. Honestly,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be more excited once we get out of this eclipse season.
Same. I
Because
haven't,
I
like, I've
feel like
started
it's like right now.
normally by now, like, I start throwing things in a pile that I know I'm going to need to remember at like any point. Some things I don't even unpack because I have like doubles of things. But like I realized today I was going to pick out something and I was like, I'm gonna want that for Thailand. And I'm like, oh man, I need to start actually thinking about getting my act together for this. I was a little distracted this past week. So
What? Getting hit by
yeah,
a car is
you
distracting?
know, life comes at you hard sometimes.
Wild.
So can I tell
Who would
you?
have thought?
Last night,
Couldn't be
Dan and
me.
one of Dan and my favorite pastimes is we'll sit there and completely zone out and send each other reels or TikToks or whatever, which I know is a very common thing today. But we were doing that last night, and Dan sent me this thing of a bunch of pink-haired anime characters, and it just so happens like there's a trope. And we didn't know this of pink-haired anime characters often get hit by trucks in anime. And so he sends me this montage and I looked at it and I looked up at him. He's like, I didn't realize there were so many pink haired anime characters. And I was like, Dan, it's been a week. And I watched him like remember. And
That's what Wes said too. He's like, Krista's not allowed to isekai themselves. Like that is not
he
happening.
He's like, maybe you isekai'd. And I'm like, I certainly did not. Like, it is still the same me. He's like,
No,
you need to pick new
Truck-kun,
stats or
no.
anything? And I'm like, do you want me to have lower constitution stats than I have?
We're not doing that.
Yeah. So
Oh
that
my
was,
God.
we were wheezing.
Not the trucks.
I'm like, you can't share. It's like only been a week and you're sending me this montage of people repeatedly getting hit while they're crossing the street. I'm like, I thought he was trying to be funny about it. And I was going to be like, I'm really glad that you can have this sense of humor about it. And he was just like, I didn't realize there was so many pink haired anime characters. Okay.
Just being oblivious. Not.
When he realized, he
I
laughed
will
and
tell you what
cried.
though, my husband would have done that. Like if I got hit by a car and I was okay, that would be all the videos I
Yeah.
got for the next
Well,
foreseeable
oh.
future. It would just be like normal funny video, hit by a car.
Yeah.
Like it would be
Like,
incessant.
One of the
In
things
a
I'm
loving way.
upset most about is that like I have some limitations on this trip, right? And I'm bugged about that because the dynamic that Weston and I have established is competitive. And so I know he's going to egg me on and I'm going to have to actually say no and that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it.
Oh
I
no.
know. I'm like, I'm going to wear the sling just so I can run without hurting my shoulder. Like that time he was like, Krista, I'm winning at getting back to the bus. And I literally slammed myself into the bus to get there first in Iceland. Pepe was like, slid into the drum thing.
Like I did it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, Weston also like broke his foot on that trip too. So
Yeah.
like we don't need to have
Yeah.
competition be
Maybe
super
Weston and I
intense.
need to find a different version to compete with here.
Maybe you need like pocket chess or something, just like duel.
That would be hilarious. I'm up for it.
Like, oh, you want
Until-
to duel it out? Oh,
Yeah, until we're
backgammon.
both recovered enough to actually compete again. We should
He's
plan a
doing
big
really well,
thing.
actually. He's good. He's not concussed anymore either,
Well,
which is
fantastic.
great.
I didn't get a
Competitive
concussion to
rock,
begin
paper,
with.
scissors.
I'm winning at not getting concussed. Ha.
Yep, he's
Yep.
winning at keeping his shoulder in place, though. So
I mean,
I don't know if you want to play that game.
the doctor the other day was like, "So your shoulder was actually on your chest," and I was like, "Is that where it was?" Yeah, it was like here. So
Ew.
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
when Dan first walked into the room, I was like, "Wait, are you feeling squeamish right now? Because this might not be something you want to look at." And he was like, "You just got hit by a car. Let me come in the room." And I'm like, "Okay." But
The way that you care so much about people's squeamishness, I appreciate it. Because, like, I don't even think about it because I'm not a squeamish person when it comes to, like,
it's
injury
weird that I've
stuff.
had to think about it twice.
Yeah, and, like, you're very, like, aware of other people's, like,
Before I pull
squeamiosity.
this out, there's gonna be blood. Are you random stranger squeamish?
I'm gonna just shoot blood everywhere. Hope you don't mind. I got hit by a car, but don't look, it might affect you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
I guess it probably switches when you have a kid. Because I've
Oh,
birthed two
maybe.
kids. Your squeamishness goes away real quick, and like your
Yeah.
like the modesty thing doesn't happen.
I don't
Oh
have
my
kids,
gosh.
but I've been in a lot of traumatic situations for other people and have had to be the one to help them because everybody else was squeamish. So,
Again, you're two
yeah.
truths and a lie, man.
I know.
You could pick.
We have so many options now. I'm just gonna switch them
You
up.
should just change like one minor detail of one of the
I
things
was
that has like
going
legitimately
to.
happened. Like I've been hit
Yeah.
by a blue car. And be
Well,
like, actually it was
it
gray.
was silver. Yeah.
Thanks for thinking we're funny, guys. We think we're
Oh
really
my
funny, but it's
God.
nice to hear that you guys do too. Um,
This is what you came for, right?
yeah. Oh, on the topic of travel, do you have any tips for solo travels, especially safety for female appearing people?
Yes.
Yeah. So on a
How deep do you want to
spiritual
go?
tip, yeah, on a spiritual tip, just to like start there, ask your guides to be like physically present with you because it genuinely does help create like a bear. Like if you know those service dogs that will like walk around people in circles continuously to like keep
Yeah.
their border, like you can ask your guides to basically do that. It can really, really help. Highly recommend. And you'll be a little bit more in tune and it'll feel a little bit better and you have that just kind of safety energy in general. Yeah. I mean, I have a million more, but go, Krista, go. I know you got stuff.
Well, so this is the reason I asked how deep you want to go. Brace yourself. I've been almost taken 3 times. So what I realized was being extra wiggly and just being belligerent is like the best way to like feel safe if you're worried about that version of things, which I know a lot of people tend to be. Just know if you're wiggly, like I literally will just make my legs give out because then suddenly I'm dropping and they're not expecting me to drop and then I'm down and I run. That has helped me twice. And then just
I don't think people are expecting to get taken.
well, no, but people worry about it.
Yeah.
So knowing what to do in that situation might help you feel less stressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah, Kristen's
that's
snatchable, apparently.
and like
Kristen's just
everybody thinks it's because I'm small. At the time, I was not small. So like it has nothing to do with that. Nowadays, not nowadays, but when I'm fully recovered days, I would probably just wail on them. Like
also, it's never been on any of our trips, just to be super clear there.
no,
That was when
our trips
Krista was
have been
younger
entirely
and
safe.
their mom was putting them in really icky places around the world, basically. Putting them in
It's usually
not
like
the goodest
nightclubs
of
at 2
situations.
a.m. or abandoned malls.
Yeah, like the Krista circumstance is
sounded
very
so bad.
specific. But also you don't have to. Yeah, honestly, traveling right now as a single person is actually the safest it's probably ever been. In a lot of ways, and again, having that energy there, just feeling, being smart, looking out, being observant, the normal things. Yeah. I also am a big fan of booking rides ahead of time. So especially if I'm traveling by myself. So if you can book like your transfer for the airport, like ahead of time on like Get Your Guide or Expedia or whatever, like book a transfer first and then like book things. So it's not like you're looking for a taxi at the airport or like that kind of thing. Cause that's like prime time when people are icky. So
Yeah.
booking
Another
those things
thing
in
you can
advance really
do
helps.
is have someone on standby for when you need to be on the phone to feel safe. Like
Yeah.
I was in one of the times I was almost taken was actually in London. But there was another time that I was in London that I had to go on these back streets late at night. And I just pulled out my phone and I was able to call my dad. And by talking out loud and them seeing that I was on the phone with someone, everybody left me alone. One
Mm-hmm.
time in another country, I was tired. It was late. I was lost. So I called Dan and someone started following me. And I was on the phone with Dan and I was like, it's really funny. This person behind me doesn't think I know they're following me, but I know they're following me. And they veered off immediately. So having someone to talk to
Mm-hmm.
helps because A, it's a deterrent, but also B, it makes you feel better and someone can help you navigate. Like Dan was on a map at the time, helping me find my way to my location. So, yeah. And again, those things do not happen frequently. So, anticipate having a really good time, but whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're worried about, make sure you know what you would do in the event of. And that way, because you've put those protections in place beforehand, you're already energetically protecting from it and
Yeah.
likely won't happen.
You can also build shields for yourself. Shields that do different things. Shields that make you invisible. Shields that like block you from perception. Shields that just protect from negative energies. Like you can create those around you too on a spiritual level, and they really help.
Yeah.
They help a lot. Yeah, I'm glad. Kayla says the trips feel very safe. Yes, thank you. They do. They feel so safe.
They are.
We
Yeah.
have romped on those trips. We romp about. We do a. Oh, hello, Radish. You are making so much noise. She's shedding right now, and she looks like she's this mangy. like, I'm like, Radish, what's going on? Because she's just such a fluffy. Radish is my bunny. She's not coming over here, but I would show you because she looks scruffy. It's really cute, but it's just because she's so sheddy. Anyway, but yeah, no, the trips we kind of get this like beautiful, like self-contained, like just playful, like. I accidentally bribed myself underneath a temple in Egypt, and I was fine. I felt fine. I was
Yeah.
safe, which is not. I mean, I don't necessarily recommend trying. I wasn't trying to do it. Also, for again, contextually, it just happened. It was cool, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a you should come. We have
Yeah.
some really fun trips planned. We have Peru in March, and then we have Greece in June. And there's spaces on both of those still if you want to, guys.
Yep.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah. So Samantha says, I know you've mentioned the astrology regarding this wild time in human history, but any idea when things might get better in the human rights wise in the U.S.? Thinking it'll be a long time. So this is something where if you want to know this in the in my direct response, keep listening. If not, mute your video for the next 30 seconds. So basically, I've looked at the Aries ingresses for the next couple of years, and 26 and 27 and 28 bug me. But then after that, it looks like a rebuild phase where it's not perfect, but and I know people will all groan at me when they hear this, but trust me, it's going to go by fast. By like the mid 30s, things are a lot better. We actually have like really optimistic looking years at that point. So, I mean, expectedly, the rest of this current administration period feels rough. And then after that, we rebuild or build differently. I don't want to rebuild. I want to build differently.
And don't discredit the amount of magic and energy that is coming into play. Okay, like that's the big thing with all of this, because I think people are like, of course, people looking at a very literal physical level, but also like, how Mercury retrograde fucks with your technology. Other things can do that too, right? So like, just to keep that in mind, of like magic and energy is also increasing, and it like can also have quicker impact than what we're expecting. Give that there.
And individual timing is different than collective timing. You can have 2020 is such an incredible example of this. The world had a really bad year, but a lot of people individually had the best moments that moved them forward and helped them self-actualize and all these other things. So don't discredit what you're doing. And in fact, focus more on what you're doing while the world is figuring itself out. To what Emily said earlier about, making sure that you're putting your energy into the things that you actually have influence in. Focus on that as much as possible.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that all of you guys have the goal to travel with us. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
We have so much fun. Oh,
And
someone
we
said,
want
do you
you
have
to
any,
travel with us. We want to hang out with you.
right? Someone said, do you have any experience traveling in Mexico? I do. So I was actually in Mexico earlier this year. I was in Cancun, which
Yeah,
I
you
know is
did.
very touristy, but I also did go do a temescal like in the middle of the jungle. So I basically got picked up by this company that does them. It is not a touristy thing at all. They drive you to a Mayan village like 2 hours deep into the jungle, and you do a temescal ceremony there, and then you swim in a cenote. They don't have a lot of electricity, like it is very remote. But I love Mexico. I have a lot of beautiful friends of mine that have a lot of their family lives there in different spots in Mexico. So yeah, I've been to Mexico a couple times and traveled around there a couple times.
Yeah.
I
I
love
have
it.
not, but I'm looking forward to getting there someday soon.
I love it. And just beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. Um, but technically, I also kind of live in Mexico because I live in California, which is Mexico still. Like, I just want to be really clear. Like, this is shouldn't belong to us anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad everybody's saying that the trips do feel safe. I agree. It's something that we check on and make sure of as much as we can. But also Trova does a really good job, and our guides do a fantastic job.
Yeah, they do. Ooh, is there anything we can do collectively to bring some nicer supportive energy to those in alignment with that? So, when you send energy out, you can definitely do that. So, like group meditation, group prayer, group stuff like that does work. And even if you're not doing it all together, if we're all sending those intentions when we have that, like, sending the best energy that we can to good energy to people that need it, maybe energy of awareness or something to people who may need that as well, whatever that is, you can actually send that out like Care Bear style. Truly, you can like send that there. It's their choice if they accept that into like their space or if it's just like a feeling that they get, but it can actually make a big difference. The more people that do that, the better.
Yeah, I mean, think about it the same way as if you text someone and just say, "Hey, just checking in. How are you doing?" They can respond or they don't respond, or they can come back snippy or whatever. It's the same thing. Energy is just another form of communication.
Yeah.
But also being an example, and that's not being an example for the purposes of being noticed. It's doing it yourself and not even paying attention to how many people you are kind of showing what that looks like. Be the best version of what you want to see. And then every action you take will be an inspiration or will at least plant a seed in the people around you. One of my favorite ways to do this is the affirmation or the spell, because affirmations are just spell we cast on ourselves, of I am imperturbable. This way, if something happens, like you get hit by a car or something, you can, you can decide like, you know what? I'm making the best out of this. I'm imperturbable. It's going to be okay. Like all of those things. I truly, one of the thoughts I had before I even made it to the other side of the road, because I guess I am a chicken, is that like I got hit by a car. I have that experience now. What a story. And then I got to the side of the road and I was like, well, my shoulder's not okay. But yeah, but you make those decisions for yourself. And then you end up like, taking something that's arguably not awesome and singing Sound of Music songs with everybody in the ER, which is kind of awesome. And they get to see someone handle it that way, I hope. And you get to decide. One of the other things I do is I was telling myself the whole time, like, you're going to tell this story. How do you want it to go? And so you are the hero in the story. And there are other people witnessing your story. Now, they're the hero in their story, too. So you're the mentor or sage character in their story. Sometimes the plucky sidekick, whatever. I mean, we're doing a great job, clearly.
The amount of dings that are occurring, like I don't know what our guys are doing. So for those of you who maybe don't know, those dings and stuff that our phones do are like a super validation for us.
Yeah.
And they're just having a moment on this live. Like,
They
okay.
are. Yeah, this must be a good one. So yeah, but being an example is just simply, what my guides told me to do this year. Worry about yourself. Work on yourself. Do those things, because the best example you can be to someone else is the fullest expression of who you are, so that they learn how to be the fullest expression of who they are, because happy people don't hurt other people. They just don't.
Dakota says, why did the Krista cross the road? My answer is
because you're really... the other side.
My answer was because you're really good at parkour, apparently.
I know, man. I'm so... Yesterday, my mother-in-law was like, so Dan had me like, he's like, why is your leg the one that's bruised, but your shoulder got hit? I was like, because I landed on this. I got hit over here. He's like, but how did that happen? And I was like, Dan, I barrel rolled across the car. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Yeah, parkour.
Went pretty fast. Yeah, parkour.
Parkour.
Yep. Yeah.
You were like, why is it? It can't be that hard. Boys do it, and you did.
Literally all I, because people who saw this last week know that my guides came in sort of clutch. Like, I think they tried to warn me the night before, like, hey, you might want to drive. But also, if I look at the astrology, I was always going to end up in that crosswalk or something. I'll be showing my students the astrology. They requested it. It's not me just like showing off, but I will be showing my students the astrology.
Let me
of it.
talk about why I astrologically
show
got
you.
it.
Well, because I had like the first time I died, I have really good astrology info for that too.
The first time I died.
That's only been once, but
It's only been once so far.
So
you
far.
know.
yeah. But this time the astrology was there as well. I actually had my mentor go over it with me, so I would find all of the data, and it's seriously crazy to the rising degree and everything. It's really cool. But that being said, my guides, about maybe a minute before I got into it was when the song started playing, and the song was halfway over when I got hit. I know, because it paused when my earbuds flew out. And it was a song that said, I'm one less day, or I'm not afraid of getting older, I'm one less day from dying young, was the song that was playing. And so as that
Correct.
song started playing, they were like, hey, if you were ever in like this, they showed me like an action sequence. And they'd like, you'd know how to duck, you'd know how to like meditate through pain, or you'd know how to do this. And I was like, cool. I'm glad I would know how. I assume that's like 20 years from now or
And
something
bam.
if I do find myself. And so I'm feeling good, right? And I cross the crosswalk, and in the second of the four lanes, the first car stopped, the other cars are stopping, and I see a headlight just moving. And I was like, okay, lean. And so I leaned, and that's the reason I didn't end up this way, which would have been a lot worse. So thank you, my guides, for being like, lean.
Yeah. See, again, parkour.
Carpool.
You got it. You
Parkour.
leaned into it.
Yeah.
Parkour.
Yep.
Uh,
Ooh, this is
excuse
a good
me,
one for you.
first time. Yes, Krista has died.
I was
But
a
okay,
kid.
they're alive now.
Well, that was another joke I got to make in the ER, because they were like, have you had any other surgeries? And I was like, yeah, brain surgery when I was 10, and the mastectomy last year. And they're like, oh yeah, so nothing major. And I was like, I was asleep for it, so it was fine for me. I didn't get to tell them about the death part. There wasn't enough time. It's usually my go-to joke. But great name for a memoir. Do you know how many people say that to me? Yeah.
Which,
I know.
what name?
Carport.
The time I died, the first time I
The first time I
died.
died. Oh, yeah. Learning to fly. I'm telling you, my natural state is flight, and I've just spent my whole life trying to achieve it in various ways. This one didn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a good one, I think, for you, Emily. I think it's Yelani, I think, is saying, what music artist do you recommend to feel more grounded and more connected?
Okay, so I have a weird thing about recommending music. I don't know what it is, by the way, about it. I just have a weird thing there. I will tell you, my all-time favorite band, which is a spiritually inclined band. I'm actually going to see them tonight. We are going down to Sacramento to do that tonight. But yeah, it's Nako and Medicine for the People. Whenever I need to feel grounded and more aligned, I always listen to their music. I've seen them live, I don't know how many times. I really love live music. So I've seen a lot of live music. I really, really love them. They have a very heavily spiritual and activism. He got arrested at Standing Rock, like significant yeah, so activism presence and stuff there, which I personally just really appreciate, and it's a really good vibe. If I'm needing to feel really grounded or like express some energy, I really love punk music too, so I'll listen to a lot of that of varying different capacities. I like NoFX, I like Streetlight Manifesto, I like Bad Religion. There's a bunch of those that you can just kind of throw in there. I also am a big fan of musicals and musical soundtracks. So if you need to clear your energy and process through things and feel more connected, singing those is always super fun. Even if you have a bad voice, doesn't matter. It's about clearing your own energy. So pick your favorite ones. My favorite musical is not common because it's just one I saw with my daughters earlier this year that was only had like a very limited run, and like that was it. So it was very obscure but really good. I also will say one of my favorite ways to really feel connected and to channel your guides is to like start on like a Spotify or an Apple Music, whatever, and just play one song that you know you like and let them play the rest. Like don't
Mm-hmm.
select a radio station, but just let that flow through and beyond. And that is oftentimes the ways that I get the best communication and grounding and comfort with my guides. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
whole playlist is mostly musicals because my way of grounding is remembering. It's just like remembering how good I'm allowed to feel.
Hmm.
You know, like when things are dragging me down, I remember I'm allowed to feel good. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't feel grounding, but it is grounding, as in, like, I'm grounding my energy, but I'm not lowering myself. I'm actually kind of uplifting with it. And my guides love, especially a new guide I've started working with this year, loves to come through with like 70s and up music. They use Celine Dion in Egypt to make me
Love it.
absolutely bawl on the roof by myself.
I don't know what it
Um,
was. We heard so much Celine Dion
so much
in
Celine
Egypt,
Dion and
like
Frank
not just
Sinatra
in like,
Christmas.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was very strange. Just don't
Hmm.
know. I didn't know she had such a big Egyptian following, I
Yeah.
guess.
It was
But
good. It was
they
good.
love a good Dion, a good
Hmm.
Dion moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
um,
So, um, hmm lots of music stuff. I love that. Great question, by the way.
hmm.
And there's a lot of communication that happens through music right now with guides too. So
Wow.
it's kind of like a back, like a little key to get in.
Uh, the Celine Dion, Davina, I love it. So, someone up here, hang on a second. Santa Barbara Maslar asked, "Do we have any advice on when you are in a dead end, but feel like you have no other way to go, but are blank on everything from big picture stuff to small hobbies?" Do you want to answer that first?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First, rest.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what that means is like, hey, you actually do need to take a time to like consciously and actively, intentionally like take a moment to rest and like tell yourself like this is my rest time. And that could be like you're just watching the same movie that you've watched a bunch of times but you love it and you're just resting, whatever it is. Rest can be huge. The other thing is I think there's always a problem where we discredit things that feel like fun. And we often get to this point where we feel like a dead end because it's like, well, now the only things to do would be figuring out what brings me joy, and we're not taught how to do that
Mm-hmm.
as people. So figuring out how to, I bug your guides, ask, hey, I want fun stuff. Bring that in. Like, give me opportunity to say yes. Ask the universe that. Absolutely, that's a really lovely way to kind of dip your toes in. The other thing I would do is try to do something, even if it's not something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so magical and so exciting. Like breadcrumb yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that wholeheartedly. Be like, okay, I'm gonna plan to go see a concert next week, even if you don't really like them or whatever. Just be like, I'm gonna do that, and then the week after that, I'm gonna take this breathwork class, and then I'm gonna, go to this park I've never been to before, and then I'm gonna go on this road trip. Like breadcrumb yourself through it. I mean that with my whole chest. It has
Mm-hmm.
gotten me through some of the hardest times ever, and like the biggest depressive episodes or anxiety
Yep.
episodes is like breadcrumbing yourself helps so freaking much. It also is going to help us engage with like the world without feeling weighed down by it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really really important
Yeah.
facets. So those are some big things that I always recommend doing. And when it comes to spiritual stuff, lean in the thing that feels the most exciting to do. If it's something that you've done before, cool. If it's something that's new, cool. And if you're really stuck there, go to the first thing that ever made you feel spiritually connected or even excited about spirituality. Was it watching ghost hunter shows or,
Mm-hmm.
did you see Sylvia Brown speak on something or like, like where did this, wherever that came from, and go do that thing again. Watch those things again. Watch it,
Mm-hmm.
Fern Gully if you were inspired by the fairies, or like, go do that thing that made you feel very first spiritual or is the earliest thing you can remember that did that for you, and repeat that. That
Yep.
oftentimes wakes it up more than anything else.
Yeah. For me, especially like earlier this year, I had a moment. And in that moment, music, like we were talking about before, I actually have, when I was younger, I had a playlist of like, I know I need to cry, but I can't make myself cry. So I had a playlist of songs that I knew would help me cry so that I could just let it out. And then at the end of it, it's like, okay, the energy is released. Let's, sing some other songs or whatever. This time it was songs that helped me just name the feelings that I was feeling and like felt them with me, is what it felt like. I also filled my time with new hobbies. I learned to crochet. I learned to do a Rubik's Cube. I was playing the piano. And for me, the problem at the time was I felt like I couldn't fix anything. Everything around me was like an unsolvable problem, and it wasn't my problem. It was other people going through things, and I was affected because it affected my lifestyle that they were going through them. So I gave myself problems I could fix, and I reminded myself of things I could do, like things that I felt like I was bad at. I interviewed myself, and I'm like, what am I insulting myself for right now? Cool. I'm going to learn how to do that. And then I proved to myself that I'm actually perfectly capable of managing whatever it was. And I became more independent and individual and less reliant on other people, which didn't ruin my relationships. In fact, it made them stronger, but it did remind me that like I'm a whole and complete person all by myself and I don't need other people's validation. And that was a big lesson I needed to learn. So one of the things you can do, and one of the things when I was asking my guides about it, they also said for you in particular, every day, pull one card and just journal about it. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to, like, you don't have to know what the card means. Just pull a card, look at it, and journal about it. Even if it's with, like, I pulled this card today, I don't know what it means. But do it again the next day. And eventually you'll get into that energy of, like, I pulled this card today. It might mean this. And it'll kind of walk with you through that, and it'll give you a way to connect again with your guides, with your energies, with spirituality. But it's just little things every day. Like, those are your daily breadcrumbs. So.
Just talking to yourself, I can't see it's behind the heart, but just talking to yourself help with grounding. Yes.
I do it all the time.
Talking to your body. My body has a different name than me. We're friends. We're not the same being. We're friends. So it helps.
The amount that I talked to my body last week in the, like, when I was in a lot of pain at one point, and I was just sitting there being like, you're doing such a good job. You took such good care of me today. I'm so proud of you. Like, all of those things. And it helped. Because you end up feeling like that hope. And especially if you're going through a lot of stuff with your body, like kind of letting it know it's not doing anything wrong and that you're not mad at it is a huge thing. We tend to get mad at our bodies for any limitations we have with them.
Yeah, I am enough is a resonating statement. Another, if that's a hard statement for you, because sometimes that is a hard statement. My favorite affirmation is I am divinely supported because I matter. And that helps a lot. And then you can think of all the times when that's been true. And it could be a big thing like, oh, I got laid off, but I immediately got that new job. Or it could be like, I got that parking spot when I really needed to pee. Like, it could be everything and anything in between, but you can like think of those examples and you have them to support. Like, everyone has them to support that because it's true. So that can really, really help. Awesome. Yeah. Well, friends, this was our last ink spill for a little bit because we're going to be, I almost said Iceland, but we're going to be in Thailand.
Totally
and Japan, actually, because Krista and I are adventuring post to Thailand as well. So we will be away, but we will return. The podcast will continue as normal. There will be episodes of that because we're pre-recording them. But thank you guys for being here on the Ink Spill, and we will pick this back up in like 3 weeks.
And hopefully, the reason we were a little late today is we are trying to get this on other platforms too, and I think we're close. But
we're trying to just do it on our personal stuff. I was like, let me just use my stream key from my TikTok, and then they moved it all around, and now I can't find it. And then we're like, let's try it on Instagram, and they moved it all around, and we can't find it, and I can't type right now, so I can't look it up. So we're just like, you know what? It's fine. But anyway, we will share images, we will share stuff, and if you guys are not following us on the Alchemist Inkwell TikTok and Instagram, if you guys could please do that, that would be super helpful, because then we don't have to keep trying to use ours. We can just go live on that one, and then it can be live on all of the platforms, all of the spaces. Thank you guys so much. Shall we try to make magic ink blots? Shall we say, let's go make some magic together? Let's do it. See if you can time it with us. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go make some magic. No, it didn't. It wasn't demeshing. I don't know why that doesn't work.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know.
But it's okay because we're doing it together.
Right? There's no lag when we just talk, but whatever. All right. Bye, friends.